They also mentioned that
logic don't make no sense though, because if I buy a kilo of cocaine, it don't matter what I do with it. I still bought the kilo of cocaine. I don't have to sell it. I don't have to use it, but I bought it.
But I guess he's trying to say is he bought the prostitute.
If I bought it and give it to you, I'm still guilty.
But he's saying he bought the escort for comforting service. He didn't have sex with the escort. I guess that's what they're trying to say.
You still paid for the prostitute. You still paid for the prostitute.
But they're not arguing because what you guys are arguing kind of goes more toward is he guilty of it or not. And they're not arguing that it didn't happen. They're saying it happened, but because he didn't directly benefit, he shouldn't be the person behind bars right now while he awaits the sentencing.
What about
because
the
in
semen?
Other cases,
what about the semen that I rubbed on my nipples
that was
from
a benefit.
said prostitute?
That was a benefit.
Oh my God.
well,
Allegedly.
therapeutic.
Allegedly.
They also claim that views on sex have changed because the Mann Act is so old. It's 115 years old. It was created back in 1910. So because of the way the views on sex have changed, maybe things like the semen on the nipples should not be considered in who benefited in what
By the way,
ways.
I do think Diddy.
They don't directly say
I do
semen.
think Diddy should have a bond. I thought he should have had a bond a long time ago. I'm just simply saying that argument.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't feel like you thought that.
Huh?
I didn't think that you thought that.
You never asked me.
I always said that Diddy should have had a bond, but yeah, I
especially after he got
the big
found not
charges
guilty on all those big
with-
charges, and he
yeah.
was yes, he should have a bond.
Well, the third reason that they mentioned on here is that we talked about this. They're just backing up the claims that Diddy did not have sex with the men that he hired. His girlfriends did. So yeah, this was literally just filed. I'll actually be doing a deeper dive into this on the latest with Lauren LaRose of the podcast because I got this walking in the room. But wanted to let you guys know that this was going down, and we kind of predicted this when we talked about the prosecutor being fired. Remember, we mentioned like maybe at this point now his team will try again because the prosecutor at the time, who was Comey, the lead prosecutor, was like, he don't need to come home. And they did everything they could to convince the judge. And
But
it
it's
worked.
the judge. It's not the prosecutor.
But I do think that there's going to be some conversation around how things were positioned to the judge based on how the prosecutors presented their case.
The judge is probably going to say he's still not taking accountability for what he was found guilty for.
Potentially.
That's what the judge is going to say. The judges say they're still trying to do workarounds. Like at some point, you're going to have to show some type of accountability if you're looking for leniency from the judge.
Yeah, especially because the judge was very direct in saying, it's not just how the prosecutors feel and what they think should happen, but he directly pointed out some of the things that happened while Diddy was awaiting to turn himself in at the hotel here in New York with things being set up in the room and all those things. So we'll have to kind of wait to see.
Yeah, but is he looking for leniency or is he looking for the law, right? Because the law, they haven't had any case where anybody has hired a prostitute and has been in jail without a bond for over a year. Because that's what he found guilty of, hiring a prostitute and carrying them on state lines. And anybody that has had that for their first time offense has all gotten a bond, has not done this much time. So the judge can say that, but it's supposed to be what's fair in the court of law, right?
Yeah, on page 2 of the document when they talk about the exceptional reasons why he should be released, because remember they mentioned the only reason he would get a bond in this situation if it was exceptional is that they say in the history of the Mann Act statute, in the history of the Mann Act, there has never been facts presented this way to incarcerate any other person. So basically, we've
never seen
from
this
the
before.
cases that they're providing, they don't see. But what'll happen is the other side will go and try and find more cases to go back at what.
But they tried,
Diddy
and they
Stevens
couldn't
say.
find a case where a person has hired a prostitute has been in this jail this long and has never got a bond.
But Diddy still don't have a bond though, so it works. So I mean, again, this is just them shooting their shot.
All I'm hearing is trouble is easy to get into and hard to get out of.
Pause.
Yeah.
That's what my parents used to always say. My dad used to always say that. Trouble is easy to get into and hard to get out of.
Very much so. Yeah.